Danny, I'm trying to figure out here. We're giving $300 million to New York City for pre-K.
Yes.
And they didn't ask for it. They wanted to fund it themselves. Okay? So why aren't we letting them do that?
Because there was a catch to that, do it themselves. It's called a tax increase. And there are many of us on this side of the aisle, on that side of the aisle, would prefer not to have tax increases. So we tried to find a way, and we did, that accomplishes what has to be done, but we did it without having to raise taxes.
On New York City?
Oh, yeah, but still, they're cityites. We bleed when we pay taxes like everybody else.
Yeah. But now the rest of the state is paying for their pre-K.
I'm sorry?
The rest of the state is paying for their pre-K.
Well, we're also putting additional money in for pre-K. The number is total 340, and there's additional money for the other localities. And just for the record, over the years, we have been doing this program where we have given money. The legislature and our speaker have strongly been giving money to other locations as well as New York City for a long time. And what we found out was a lot of times the folks wouldn't take the money.
Yeah, but
so we have offered them money also. So this 40 will be there, so they all too also will be able to use money to set up a program.
Yeah, but the rest of the state,
no, that's what I'm saying. The rest,
including the other cities,
yeah.
They're only getting 40 million.
Yeah.
But New York City is getting 300 million. Yeah. And the entire state is paying for their pre-K. What? Is there anything else you'd like us to pay for? Well, we're here.
Yeah. It bothered me when I heard the numbers also. I mean, no, not that I thought it was wrong, but I know it draws a response. You know, why they're getting so much, you're not getting so little. But if you look at the overall budget, and if you look at the taxes, which we didn't want to place on the people, but the taxes that we do pay, you'll find that New York City does a lot of things to help a lot of people, and that the programs, and when the governor said that people are going to go upstate and they're not going to pay taxes, we are putting money into there because the monies that New York City pays in taxes goes to the tax department, and that becomes the money we spend. So we can claim a lot of other places where New York City is doing things that help other communities.
Yeah, but where do we come up?
So though this may seem unbalanced, there is a balance when you look at the overall budget. And then, as I said before, we feel that the amount of people, because we have been doing this program for a long time, will draw down money, will come and take the 40, and then we can continue looking to give more money as we go along.
Where do we come up with 300 million?
Where do we come up with 300 million? From the taxes we paid, including the taxes New York paid. In other words,
no. Where do we
state
come up?
taxes or New York's taxes?
Where do we come up with the number 300 million for pre-K for New York City?
It was a number that they requested and asked for, and we gave it to them. But the drawdown is they do it, and we give them the money. So if they don't spend the $300 million, they don't get the $300 million.
Yeah,
they get the appropriation, but not the dollars.
In actuality, they didn't ask for the money, though, Danny.
I'm sorry?
They didn't really ask for the money. The governor wants to do this. The city actually said, we're going to raise our own.
No, I'm going to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
If they were to do that and put a tax on millionaires, would you vote for it?
I don't live in the city.
Oh, okay, that's a good excuse. I live in the city, and the answer is I wouldn't want to vote for it.
Okay. Now, let's try something else. Oh, by the way, Danny, you know, here's my problem. A lot of our schools outside of New York City,
yeah.
Right, we're putting $40 million in for the rest of the state, okay? And we're saying how important it is for New York City to have pre-K. Yeah. But in the rest of the state,
No, just for the record, Shelley, you're not supposed to use member. The speaker has said over and over, and this side of the aisle has been saying over and over that it's an important program, and we never said for New York, we said for the state.
Okay.
And the monies that we have done before the city finally learned this thing, we have been giving money to the whole state.
Yeah.
We have been putting money into the program. So
But
it's not something new to us.
but if
I'm
I
sorry.
can, Denny, here's the problem. Throughout the state, there are a lot of like districts on Long Island and everywhere else that don't even have full-time kindergarten.
Yeah.
Don't even have full-time, or they only have part-time kindergarten. And every study has shown that pre-K doesn't do anything for you if you don't have kindergarten. All right? It doesn't help a child. So what you're going to do is have a kid go to pre-K and then say, listen, take the next year off.
Well,
Okay? Now, is there any money in this budget to help those schools fund kindergarten programs fully? I mean, we've been cutting back on schools. Now, we took $300 million for pre-K, but yet we have kids throughout this state that don't even have kindergarten or full-time kindergarten. So it's like, look, don't worry about that. Let's do this before we even deal with that problem.
no, I don't think so. You're reading it that way. We've put a lot of money into, as we said, with $1.2 billion above the governor's numbers. We put additional money. We're trying to pay back those loans that we took. We've done a lot of things to make sure now. Someone asked me about the additional money that we made and that we're going to be able to use. The special money, the $40 million. Now, that's a perfect example. Those schools that you mentioned that don't have kindergartens, they clearly, the member from that district should be asking for help on that sort of form of money because something should be done there. And I can't really talk about this fully because I don't know the full history of why. It's hard to believe that there are places without kindergarten, but clearly we would not give them money for pre-kindergarten because it would be really temporary, pre-nothing.
Well, that's what I'm doing here, Denny.
Yeah.
I'm saying that before you do pre-K and give money to New York City, who didn't even request the money, who said they wanted to self-fund, shouldn't we fix the kindergarten problem if all the kids throughout the state...
No, shouldn't you fix the pre? That is what...
That's what I'm
your,
trying
your
to do.
community, Your community has to be the one that is fixing it. We give you the money to educate, and I don't want to have to yield to my friend over here. She's not here. But education, we give you money, and that money is to be used. How you use it, we don't tell you how to use it. You use it, and we give it to you. So no, we don't. We have some requirements, but it's your money. But at the same time, so I don't know why you have me at a disadvantage because it bothers me that there is such a place that has no kindergarten. I don't understand that at all. But if it is there, something should be done to make sure it goes away, and you're absolutely right. But taking $300 million from New York is not going to be the solution. It sounds good, it's really, everybody likes to beat up on New
Ms.
York.
People-Stokes, why do you rise?
Mr. Speaker, would Mr. DeGraff allow an opportunity to ask a question?
Well, I'm limited on
Miss-
my time. How much time do I have?
6 minutes, Mr. Graf.
Sure, quickly.
Ms. People-Stokes,
Thank you. Mr. Graff, I was just wanting to
you're going to have to speak into the mic so we can
just
hear you.
wanted to ask a question through Mr. Farrell to you. Is if the universal pre-K that we are discussing right now is mandated to any district?
No, it is not.
Okay. So if it's not mandated, then it will be up to the respective school districts to decide if, in fact, this is a service that they want to provide to their community.
That's correct.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Back to you, Mr. Graf.
Okay, but we're still paying for it. All I'm saying is if we know that we don't have kindergarten or full-time kindergarten, and it's throughout the state, and there's other members here too, I just think we should be dealing with that first.
Yeah, no, but and I agree with you, but I'm going to turn it. You should be dealing with it. You
Well, that's what we do on the state level.
You should be talking to your school boards. You should be coming up with a decision. It may have been the decision by them they don't want kindergarten. But if they want it, you should be saying they should be doing it, and they should use the money we give them to do it. A lot of the people that have this problem, as it was said, as I've heard of some of this, is depending on the physical locations, the problems of getting the small school. That's part of the reason you can have that. But I would not like to be known that we in New York City are responsible for the people elsewhere of not having kindergarten.
Yeah, the problem
That is because they're not
the
doing
problem
it.
is, Denny, we have a lot of unfunded mandates on our school. We have the GEA, which we're not effectively dealing with, that has...
Well, no, we've just done now, if I may, on the GEA, we jumped the governor's number and we put in more than he put in because we agree with you. We should get rid of that as soon as we can.
I'd like to get rid of it today.
Okay.
All right, now, there's one other thing here, the Immigrant Action Fund. Now, if I'm not mistaken, what this fund actually does is it helps New Yorkers understand immigration issues and make informed choices at the ballot box. So basically, and it follows a position of national, state, and local officials and candidates. Learn how, so basically what this does is we're paying $150,000 to put up a database to tell how local officials, state officials, federal officials vote on immigration issues. Where this is already public knowledge if you want to sit there and look at a public official's voting record. Why are we paying $150,000 for this? And why is the state being involved with this? I mean, there are groups out there that already do this. There are advocates for immigration that already do this. Why is the state paying $150,000 for this? And who are we giving the money to?
We gave them money.
No problem. Is this the one we gave money?
Well, it's not just what you're...
I had to sorry, Danny.
No, it's okay. It's not just what you said. There's other things that are involved in that. It's to help, to give legal help to immigrants, because immigrants can't vote, so I don't understand the voting portion. But this is to help the people who need help, who are immigrants who come into the country, as you know, and they have different programs within this program. So the money going to this group, they do a lot of things.
What group?
The Immigrant Action Fund. That's who that is.
That's an actual non-for-profit
Yes, yes.
corporation? And what you're saying is they're doing legal services?
They do legal services of forms.
But why are we saying we're giving them like a political, basically a political function to do? Why would we do
I
that?
can't answer how they write it, but the political, one answer is that immigrants are not voting, so because they're not citizens, so that I don't know what that means.
Yeah, but this is pointing to other people. I'm just wondering why.
And where did you get what are you reading, by the way?
We have from, what's that? It's from the webpage of the actual Immigration Act Fund.
Yeah.
So this is one of the functions that they serve.
I'm sorry, say that again.
This is one of the functions that they serve.
Yeah,
on
but you took
their
that off the
webpage.
website?
This is off their website.
Yeah, well, they get monies from us, they get monies for other people. The money we give them is not for that. It's for the things with the legal stuff, and they may be doing other things. But like, it's a group that gets a lot of money, and they do different things with it.
And there's oversight on the money that we give them. They have to tell us exactly what they're spending the money for.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, they must.
Thank you, Donnie.